正在召开的第8届中国亚欧博览会实现100%全绿电供应，参与交易的绿电也全都来自新疆本地。在博览会14万平方米展区内，绿色低碳元素随处可见，国内外的新技术、新设备、新业态展示令人目不暇接。新疆作为一个传统能源资源大区，却吸引了国内外企业及相关机构前来寻求绿色能源发展合作。绿色发展为世界带来哪些新机遇？开放合作的大道上如何逐绿前行？对话联合国前副秘书长、欧盟亚洲中心主席埃里克·索尔海姆，他长期致力于在国家和全球层面解决环境和发展问题，积极推动了塞罕坝、千万工程等中国故事走向世界。
Hello, Mr. Eric. Welcome to Xinjiang. During your stay in Xinjiang, where did you go? Can you share your feelings with us?
Absolutely. We went to the Tian Shan Mountains, which of course were absolutely amazingly beautiful, and the lake there so green, so clean, and a wonderful place to go hiking. We went to Turpan, which is a historical center at the Silk Road with a history of thousands of years and very, very hot, but very beautiful. And we went to see some of the amazing renewable energy installations like the new biggest solar.
Yes, the green energy developed faster in Xinjiang these years.
Xinjiang is in the forefront of the green development revolution. I mean, look, China is now the undisputed leader of green energies in the world. Last year, China invested as much in green energies as the total economy of Turkey. It is a big and modern nation. So this is an enormous investment to benefit the people of China, creating jobs and prosperity and green development, but also fantastic for the world. And Xinjiang is a big part of that. Goldwinds, which is the biggest wind company in the world now, is originating in Xinjiang. And when we took the high-speed rail from Urumqi to Turpan, we saw any number of windmills along the rail tracks. And of course, this solar development, which are first class, world leading, and the biggest anywhere on the planet.
What's the new ideas and contributions of the expo, do you think?
I think it's a very good opportunity to highlight the potential of the Silk Road. Look, this is the oldest maybe trade route in the world, at least the most well-known. I highlighted the monk Chuanzang, who went along the Silk Road from Chang'an, then the capital Tang Dynasty, to India in the 600s, spent 17 years on the road and saw any number of splendid cities. So it's an area with a fantastic heritage, but now with an opportunity to make a green Silk Road for the future and a Silk Road of peace and prosperity. I think the most important is the green developments, because China and Xinjiang is so important to wind and solar power. China and Chinese companies can invest in the Central Asian nations like Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan, but of course also in Europe and other parts of the world. We need Chinese companies to go abroad, to invest in other markets, to create jobs there, prosperity there, but also to help every nation in the world to go green. If anyone who tried to go into protectionism and decoupling from China, they will find that going green will be much more costly, and then of course much slower. I think we should drastically reduce the use of sanctions in the world, because normally sanctions lead to exactly the opposite of what those implementing sanctions want. We should use less sanctions and much more dialogue about all the issues where there is disagreement, and maybe we can also learn from each other in implementing better practices.
中国是全球绿色能源和技术发展的领导者，新疆发展绿色能源具有得天独厚的优势。戈壁、荒滩、沙漠，风机随风转动，光伏逐日而舞，银线飞架南北。新疆阔步走在绿色发展之路上。2023年，新疆新增新能源装机容量超过2000万千瓦，外送光电、风电等绿电累计达1918.53亿千瓦时，覆盖全国20个省区市。江电外送第3通道建成后，新疆将成为全国规模最大的新能源外送基地。在新能源转型的浪潮里，风光无限的新疆正以满满的能量持续推进共建“一带一路”绿色发展。
I think China is one of the global leaders in green energy. So also helping the Central Asian republics make that transition and expanding any regional electricity networks you have to allow the strength of green energy, clean energy produced here also to be transferred to some of the neighboring Central Asian republics. I think the transition to green energy and the development of these economies through digitalization, artificial intelligence, and AI.
从德国路上的新能源汽车到哈萨克斯坦的风电项目，从埃及的太阳能路灯，再到老挝的低碳示范区，中国与其他国家共同播撒绿色种子，已在全球多地生根发芽。第8届中国亚欧博览会为国内外企业展示绿色成果提供了舞台，可以预见，未来将有更多绿色成果借助博览会落地开花。
With the joint implementation of the Belt and Road Initiative, Xinjiang is becoming the frontier and highland of China's opening up to the West. So, in your opinion, what advantages do you see for exchange and cooperation between China, Xinjiang, and the European countries?
I have a very simple worldview. There are no issues humanity cannot resolve if we work together. If, however, we create conflicts and protectionism, everything is much more difficult. Look, some of the accusations which some people now have made against China of overcapacity in the green sectors make no sense. I mean, what we want is overcapacity in the green areas, and China is providing these to the world. So there are fantastic opportunities for China and Xinjiang to trade with Europe, Central Asia, and of course any other part of the planet. And trade is making everyone richer. Green competition is good for the world. If one company do something and another company compete, and that's just good. Green competition is a spiral upwards, while protectionism is a spiral downwards. We're making everyone poorer. So let's stick to this very simple idea. Let's work together. And China and Europe are two of the oldest and most important civilizations on the planet. Of course, with India and a few others. We have a lot to learn from each other.
We know that EU-Asia Central Asia platform has committed to promoting the friendly cooperation and exchange between Europe and Asia. What role do you think the center will play in deepening exchange and cooperation between the EU and China's Xinjiang province?
The Europe-Asia Center is working to promote all sorts of contacts between Europe and China and Asia more broadly. Business contacts, political exchange, but also people-to-people contact, tourism, spiritual contacts between religious groups, every sort of contacts. And because we believe the more contact, the more prosperous and the better off we will all be. And we can provide platforms for Xinjiang province to, for instance, showcase the enormous opportunities, but also achievements in the solar and wind industry in Xinjiang, showcase that to the world. Other nations can learn, and other nations may also want investments from China when they see the enormous green drive here.
What will you do next to strengthen the cooperation between your center and Xinjiang?
We will now work with officials from Xinjiang to see how we can take our partnership to a new level. In practical terms, we cannot just talk. We also need to look into how we can work together. Maybe some ideas could be to expose more clearly to the world the progress in Xinjiang, say at the UN Climate Convention, which is taking place in Baku in Azerbaijan, or in the UN General Assembly, or at the many international conferences and events where Xinjiang can showcase what it has done and what it's planning to do for the future.
There are many practical implementation in many fields.
Exactly.
What's your expectation for the cooperation?
No, my expectation is exactly this, that we will cooperate in practical ways, helping making more business contacts, more political exchange, more people-to-people contact, that more tourists from Europe and other parts of the world will come to Xinjiang.